Welcome back, Susanna Mälkki.
Thank you.
It's been a long time since you...
It's been a while, yes.
Yes, 2004 we found out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's lovely to have you back.
It's such a pleasure, really.
You have recently been to New York Philharmonic and the orchestras in Cleveland and Philadelphia and Bayerische Rundfunk.
Yes, that's right.
And from 2006 till 2013 you were the music director of the Musique Intercontemporaine in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to sum up this time span, what has been the most important for you during this time?
Well, yes, it's a time of over 10 years, of course, in life and in working life. There's a lot of things that can fit in. It's been very, very exciting, and I'm of course feeling very fortunate that I'm working with these wonderful orchestras. The time in Paris, I was 7 years with the Ensemble Intercontemporain, and that was very exciting, of course, because we were constantly doing world premieres, working with living composers, working alongside with Pierre Boulez was, of course, a great experience for me. And at the same time, I was guest conducting symphony orchestras, and it's been really a fantastic journey in a way, because of course you learn so much about the profession because you have to learn the repertory, but you also learn so much about the work when you're working with different orchestras, and every orchestra is a personality and has its own dynamics, so it's really, really fascinating to learn this aspect of the work, and I think there is only experience which can teach you this, so it's been wonderful. And now, of course, orchestras like the orchestras you mentioned in North America, they are just fantastic, so it feels really like working with the big Rolls Royces of the world.
Yes, it's wonderful.
It's great.
This week we are playing, as you said, very brand new piece that you just world premiered with the Bayerische Rundfunk just a couple of weeks ago by the young Italian composer Francesca Verunelli.
That's right.
I find that so many people, they want to understand contemporary art and music. They say, I can't understand it. Is it relevant that the audience actually do understand it?
I'm not sure if it's necessary to understand it from an analytical point of view. The audience doesn't need to know what the counterpoint is or how the structure is made. However, if the piece is really well written, it kind of explains itself to the audiences. And, it's about proportions, it's about characters, it's about transparency in the music. And I think when these things are well written, but also performed very well and clearly, then people, of course, can perceive more of the details as well. And we have to remember that in the contemporary music there are lots of different styles. And everything from the relatively simple neo-romantic neo-tonality, and then also the super avant-garde, which is very, very more like pop art or cartoon, very, very quick turns. We have all of that under the umbrella of contemporary music. So I think what is probably most helpful for understanding is to hear as much different music as possible. It's like you go to a contemporary music art exhibition and the next one will be different, and then the third one will again very different, and every artist is experimenting with different things. So I think it's absolutely fine to be instinctive with it, and it's absolutely fine not to like everything. I don't like everything either, It's not an obligation. But it's really fun if you have a curious mind.
It helps.
It helps a lot, yes. And also, I think, from the performing point of view, if we try to look for the reasons why the music is the way it is, if it's very, very virtuosic, for example, and very complex, if we can find the joy in this game, or the mechanics, or the, lots of different things happening, and we transmit that feeling to the audience. Wow, look at this, all these things happening. The experience for the listener will also be different. So I think it's really about the attitude of everybody involved.
And this piece has 5 movements. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Very short.
Yes, it's a short piece of 10 minutes in 5 parts, and it's I asked the composer what the narrow corner, what the name really means, and it's about being in a corner, which is you have a certain point of view, and then in the next movement you have a next point of view, and there's more or less a lot of the same material, harmonic or sonority, colors, textures, is coming back in the piece. There are movements which are connected to each other, and the material kind of circulated in the music, in the movements, and I think maybe the approach is sort of a nice toy mechanics, She was using this expression of Wunderkammer, like the box of in the old times when the toys were not digital yet.
Yes.
There would be a head which is bumping out from the box, or like an old-fashioned mechanical toy. And of course we are doing it in a sonoric way, and today with the computer we can do lots of things with the audio files. But we can actually also do this with orchestra, but it's very virtuosic, of course. We have to get all the details right. It's really a game, sound game, and you have lots of sounds in the orchestra which are like toys. You have the beep, beep, coming in, and then you have the glissandos going up and down, and it's really a fantasy music in a way. And of course we as musicians, we have to do it very precisely. The execution is demanding, but in the end it should just be, lots of things happening, and it's quite fascinating, I think. Lots of humor in the music as well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And the program this week is very diverse, from early 1900 until 2013.
That's right.
Do they complement each other, these pieces, you think?
Well, yes, I think the program is quite clear in 2 parts.
Yeah.
We have the von Weber and Beethoven together, so we have the sort of Germanic classical tradition. And then in the second part we have, I suppose we could say, the art of orchestration.
Yeah.
We have the Verunelli, which is very rich, as we discussed. And also, the Daphnis score of Ravel, it's one of the greatest examples of masterful orchestration. Ravel as a composer already is, of course, one of the great masters, but this score in particular, it's something extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I have lots of composer friends who are almost kind of knocked out by the sheer brilliance of this score. It's so beautifully written. And
such a beautiful piece.
Incredibly beautiful piece. Yes, and so uplifting. So it's one of my
Wonderful
favorites.
Love story just after Valentine's.
As well. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Before you started conducting, you had a wonderful career as a cellist. But now for many years your cello has rested, I understood.
Yes, there was a sort of a natural diminuendo on the cello playing when the conducting career became sort of evident.
Yes.
I had more and more work as a conductor, and of course I was very excited about that, and then I had less and less time to practice the cello, and then I had less and less it felt less and less appealing to play, because I heard that I was not playing as well as I used to. So there was a break of a few years when I didn't touch the cello at all. But now I'm back in the playing.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's fantastic, yes. And I actually realized now, when I started playing, I realized that I had missed it without actually being aware of that, because I love the direct contact with the sound, the physical activity. Exactly.
Produce it yourself.
It's important for a conductor to understand, the territories. I have the ideas of the score and the balance and everything, and then there's the territory of the musicians, their own sound and their vibrato and their articulation and all these things, and I have to respect that it belongs to you, But when I play, I can do both, because then I can, really experiment with the micro phrasing and everything, and I really love that also, and so I'm enjoying playing. Also, what is wonderful about playing is just the feeling of unity, playing chamber music, playing next to somebody, blending into the sound together with other people, and this is something I really love in the music making. So
you're
it's
planning
a lot of fun.
to perform more on the cello?
Yes. I hope to find time. I mean, more than a year ago, I had a big chamber music concert where we were rehearsing before and everything. But then, of course, I mean, my cello playing is not really maybe on the level where it used to be 20 years ago, because I haven't been playing. But my ears are still very demanding, you know. So I'm trying to find a way to play without being too stressed about it, because of course I would love to play as well as possible, but then it's difficult to find time to practice. But yeah, so it's probably small scale private concerts, not to, you know, I don't have a need to make a double career at all. It's really for the pleasure of playing.
It's all about finding a balance in life, always, with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And in an interview, you reported that the success of your career depends on the number of hours you're willing to spend in an airplane.
Did I say that?
I don't know. I don't know, but it seems hard for a conductor. You're almost every week you are in a different place. To find a balance between, maybe you want to perform, you want to have your life.
Yes, exactly. I think it's important to have a life.
Yes.
And I mean, people are very different in that respect. There are some performers who are absolutely happy to be on the road all the time. For me personally, it's important to also have the time off, not only because it's good to rest, but also because I feel that in my position it's so important to be well prepared and to have this time at home. And also, if I'm doing a lot of different kinds of repertory, I need time to prepare and to recharge and everything. I would actually maybe today I would say differently. It's also a wonderful sign of success if you can not work all the time.
Yes.
You know, and to
it's
choose.
A luxury.
Yeah, it is a luxury, and I'm kind of coming to that point now, which is really, really great. So I can have periods at home when I'm really studying and thinking about things, and as you say, I mean, have a life.
Of course, music is life for every one of us. But
it is. But it's it's in my head anyway all the time. Even if I'm not rehearsing with an orchestra or performing, it's going on here, and it's important to have that time for it to mature. And of course, there are different phases, different periods in life, and sometimes you're busy. I think modern life in general is very, very busy.
Yes,
and
it is.
For example, I'm not traveling nearly as much as some sports athletes, professional athletes. They are really like 40 weeks a year they can be on the road. I've never been that much on the road. So it's really a different. Maybe for conductors and soloists, the difference is that we move often, whereas opera performance, opera singers can be away a lot as well, but they are always 2 months at one place and then 2 months in another. Or people in politics or business, everybody's on the airplane. It's a weird way of life. Yes. But it's also fascinating, and in the end I think the work I'm doing and when you come to the moment of the concert and if it clicks with the orchestra and you're uplifted by the music, then you forget that you're tired, and then the airplane is kind of it's part of the thing, but it doesn't become a dramatic. I'm not suffering from it. If I would really suffer from it, I wouldn't do it.
And you're going to spend more time in Finland.
That's true. Yes. I'm starting in Helsinki next September as the chief conductor there, and that is wonderful. I'm extremely happy about it for many reasons. Of course, this is the first position where I'm having a symphony orchestra in my at my responsibility, and all the programming. Of course, I'm feeling like this, with all the beautiful repertory I can do. I know the city very well because I grew up in Helsinki. I know the musicians, all the musicians already. I studied with so many of them, so it's really a familiar place. And the orchestra is in a very, very good shape now. We have a beautiful new
hall,
concert hall, exactly. And I think the musicians and the management and me, we are all really eagerly waiting for this time to come. There's a very, very good spirit in the air, and they are very good as well. So I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we're happy to have you back in Scandinavia.
Thank you.
And looking forward to this week's concert.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi! Thanks for watching this interview. I'm Pierre from Belgium and I play the clarinet in the Philharmonic. And jeg glæder mig til at se dere på koncerten.